so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land under the free, and the home of the brave. Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight you in the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. This land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land of the free, and the home of the
Good evening, ladies and gents. It is Repeat back with you on another Saturday night. That means it's time for the Bump and Run iRacing Cup Series tonight from Kansas Motor Speedway. It is the penultimate race. One more race to go after this week to decide a champion and crown a champion, I should say, a very well-earned title. After several weeks in the booth, as always, it's the one and only Big Will. Well, we are Kansas Motor Speedway qualifying now underway. We're going to go ahead and clear the boards and bring up our scoring pylon. That way we can keep track of who's where and what kind of track position they're going to have on these starts. Welcome aboard, sir. Good to see you again.
This evening, Pete. Great to be here as always. Kansas Motor Speedway almost never disappoints. So an intriguing and exciting race to come to decide the final four going into the final race, as you say, at Texas. So an exciting race to behold, I do believe, Pete.
Absolutely. You're going to see a whole lot of high, wide, and handsome racing all night long. Right now, keeping up with the 47 of Brandon Moore. Right now, he is the pole sitter, running a time of a 31.16. As you can see, the times start to fill in on your scoring pylon. It's a nice-looking Gravedigger scheme. But, man, who's it going to be at the end of the night? Who do you think gets it done? Who is going to battle with that 73 when it comes to Texas, Will?
My three remaining picks, I would probably have to go with out of the ones that we have here that are left in the final 8, or the round of 8. I want to say James Sellner,
Okay.
Brian Hunt,
Ooh, okay.
and the final one to make its way in. I really want to be putting my money on Aaron Bradford.
I tell you, Aaron Bradford, he's been very, very strong all season long in that number 95 Wrangler machine. I think he just needs a little bit of luck to go his way, and if that happens, I'm right there with you. Moving on over to the 28 right now, Josh Small. He's another one that's shown a lot of speed all season long in his Eagle 1 Ford Mustang GT. But so far now it looks like Matthew Hunsaker, he's kind of taken over that top spot. Scott Bittinger, excuse me, in this number 69 Toyota now. He just came across the line to put his first lap down, 31:47 out of 11 guys that have posted time so far. Now keeping up with the 55 of James Bryan. This is his, or that was his get up to speed lap. So it looks like this is his first lap. And I mentioned a little bit ago, Will, that we're going to see a lot of guys high, wide, and handsome tonight. There you go. You see the 55 way up in that second and third groove, letting the car wash all the way out to the wall, just kind of opening up the wheel a little bit, kind of carry as much speed as you can off of the corner. But this line right here is where a lot of guys are going to be, and we could see some phenomenal slide passes for different positions.
Slide jobs are a big key factor move here at a place like Kansas. You can go in there, really diamond it under somebody, and then slide it back up towards the wall. Some drivers do like to run that high line momentum lane like you were talking about, right up against the wall. That's the line I always love to use here. It always worked. Not too many bumps. There's a couple, one right in the center, 1 and 2. Again, in 3 and 4, there's one right up against the center, but they're not as severe as the bumps lower in the track. But all about trying to keep up momentum here at Kansas in a cup car, or really, for that matter, anything stock car wise.
Yeah, it looks like James Bryan, he's actually going to stay right there in P number 11, waiting to see if Brian Hunt Jr., one of those that you picked just a little bit ago, or Jaden Sanchez in that 18. That kid's been really, really fast as well. Jim Coleman'sberger, he's going to, he hasn't come out yet, neither is Jerron Carver, Hunter Head, Kevin Roy, or I just saw one more, but it looks like qualifying now up 135 laps on tap for tonight. Again, a big thank you to a couple of my associate sponsors for my channel, Izzy and Jay Soap Company, as well as the Midnight Craft Desk over on Etsy. Please go on over, check out both of those guys. Let's go ahead and pull up your grid. I said our grid, not that. Let's go ahead and pull up our grid. There we go. So, again, it's going to be Matthew Hunsaker in his 37. He's going to go ahead and start P number 1 in his Ford Mustang GT. Outside pole is going to be Caleb Shelton in that 73. The man has been bad fast in that Pepsi car all season long. Brandon Moore in the 47 is going to be P3 with Philip Bridgman to his outside. P5, Zach Deutscher in the 4 with the 75 of Jeff Gilmore to round out row number 3. Row 4 is going to be Sean Judson in the 19 with Aaron Bradford in that 95 to his outside. Chris Campbell in his 68, P9. Scott Bittinger, P10 in his 69. Final row inside the top 12 is going to be James Bryan in that 5-5 with Josh Small III in that 28. Going through the rest of the field, it looks like it's going to be Jaden Sanchez, P13 in that 18. P14 is going to be James Sellner Jr. in the 43. Brian Hunt in the 2-3, starting P15, to round out row number 8 is going to be Kevin Roy. In the 11 is going to be Jim Coleman'sberger, 17th. And row 9 is going to be Jerron Carver. And the guy in the rear with the gear tonight is going to be the 13 of Hunter Head. We'll have to see if that 13 plagues as an unfavorable number, or if he's going to prove that it is just a number and can charge from the back. Again, those in the back did not take a qualifying lap So the 37 in this Hoonigan Mustang GT, he will be tonight's control car.
On down to 19th, so 6 cars did not take a lap. We see the 13 starting dead last on the field, shotgun rear of the field. So
yep, looks like tonight's air temp right now about 75 cool, calm, collected degrees. 11-mile-per-hour wind. That should be pretty interesting. And a track temp of about 80. So really favorable race conditions. We're going to go ahead and clear that away. We'll go ahead and pull up your scoring pylon, your track map, and everything else that you're going to need to keep up with your drivers. Barney's got the field in view. He's got the green flag up. Will, green flag's out. Let's go. All right, well, so it looks like the 37 is going to handily go ahead and take a point for leading that lap. Brandon Moore right behind him. He started third already, up to P2. Same thing with Philip Bridgman. He started fourth. He's up to P3. Caleb Shelton's going to go ahead and fall back a spot. And Zach Deutscher started in fifth. That's right where he lays right now.
Yes, it's going to be one long race for these competitors. You got 7 drivers fighting for 3 positions to advance into that championship race next week, and we are seeing at least a few of them right now at the moment up at the front of the field really trying to get what they can get early on as far as Matthew Hunsaker and Philip Bridgman goes. So they are trying to get in the best position possible early on, and that is exactly what you need to do on the start and the restarts of a race like this. Really try to get the best position possible. You need to hang on to it. Some just have really good early run speed. That's what we're seeing now. So let's see how long they can hold on to that speed, though, for.
Absolutely. Jaden Sanchez in that number 18 DeWalt machine. He actually just went ahead, and he's getting really, really close to that 95 on the outside. That Western Auto 95. Decided to switch up the Wrangler colors, maybe save the Wrangler colors, his old Earnhardt colors, for next week when he really needs a little bit of championship mojo if it all falls in the way that you were talking before. But Jaden Sanchez right now posting the fastest lap very, very early. Just lap 4 coming to lap 5 with a 31.23. So far, he's only one of a couple that have gotten down into the 2s so far. I told you, this guy's got a lot of speed, and when we're talking about a high-line track, it might just fall right into his wheelhouse.
Saw that pass for that position against the 95. It's amazing how they didn't netcode one another going to turn 1
right
on the previous lap. I was in awe of that. That was just a mouth open type of moment for me. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, they were literally door to door as now he's going to slide underneath the 75 to take yet one more spot. And is he going to be able to complete the slide job? No, he's not. 18's going to have to go ahead and put a little extra wheel into it. Oh, he loves these close quarter battles, doesn't he? 75, though, with that momentum, he's going to be able to keep the spot. 18's just going to fall right in line. Now he's just got to worry about dirty air. Try not to tag the wall and keep on going. Jaden Sanchez says, well, I'll try my best. He's out there, or was out there earlier in the Facebook side of things, saying, well, I'll try my best. We've got really tight top 5 is what my goal is. It says, miscommunication ruined my qualifying. Oh, well, good luck, guys. Have fun. And then Rescuers 28 on the Twitch side says, good to see you, Pete and Will. It's Mad Dog. Well, Rescuers, good to see you as well. And thanks for coming out, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Caleb Shelton making moves at the front of the field, trying to get into a battle for second place with Brandon Moore. Getting around Brandon Moore, it looks like, at the moment. Working his way up to Matthew Hunsaker now early on, Pete.
Yeah, 47 the outside, 73. He's going to go ahead and keep it low, but 37 again. He's going to have that line off the wall, and he's got the 47 giving him a little bit of a push. 73 is going to go ahead and throw it in. Will this be our first slide job of the race? Let's see. He's got him clear so far. Let it wash up. 73, no, not able to quite get it done, but it looks like he will be able to come across the line and lead that lap.
Wonder how much longer we can have this iRacing pack racing at the moment, Pete. 9 laps into this race, when do you think the tires are going to start to wear a little bit more, and maybe we might start
out
to see? Oh,
yeah, caution's out. Looks like Brian Hunt somewhere in the back is going to have a little bit of an issue.
Man.
So one of the guys that you said may have a very, very good chance at pushing his way through to the championship race next week. Right now, I just saw him kind of recovering. I didn't see any damage on the hood, so let's switch it on over to our chase cam. Go back with Brian, find out what happened.
I'd have to throw Philip Bridgman in there and throw Brian out of the running. You never know. We can always repick at any time, Pete. You know, the race is not over. You know, we can always throw people in and out of that picking.
That's right. And it looks like,
it
looks like the 95 is going to get a little loose and just nowhere for Brian to go. We'll go ahead and play that one more time. Actually, we'll go ahead and bring it on up to his nose cam, and we'll play it again. Watch the 95 get squirrely. And boy, he was bad close to the back end of bad camera angle. Let's try that one more time.
Always unfortunate, Pete, getting caught up in someone else's misfortune.
Right. All right, let's try this one more time. Boy, he was all over the back end of the 69, and yeah, 95 just gets loose, sends Brian up into the wall. No chance in being saved at all. All right, let's go ahead and bring it back live again.
It's a wonder he didn't hit the 69.
Right, yeah. So it looks like the 73 of Caleb Shelton, he's going to go ahead and actually stay out under this caution. I know you were down and talking with the guys just before race kicked off. How many sets of tires do these guys have?
I believe there were 6 sets of tires in the pits.
Okay.
So a few more than they kind of need, but you know, in scenarios like this, it's always good to go grab a set.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Let's see. I don't see where Caleb Shelton is actually available to be pulled. So how about Matthew? Yeah, it looks like Matthew Hunsaker is available. So we'll go ahead and we'll switch it on over to Matt right quick. Matt, it's Pete and Will up in the booth, but you got a copy in that 37 Hoonigan machine.
Yes, sir. What's up?
All right, bud. So you got P2. You decided to go ahead and stay out right along with Caleb. In fact, it looks like the entire top 8 decided to stay out in those first several laps. Looks like about first 10 laps. Were you able to learn anything about your Mustang GT and what those ponies may be able to do in the long run?
I mean, the car's still driving good. I was just trying to save some tire. I'm hoping this, hopefully that 73 burnt some off and I can come back towards the end.
Well, man, I definitely. Go ahead, Will.
Do you think with this heat cycle, on your set of tires, do you think that Caleb's going to kind of get that clean air, maybe drive away, and it may not go back to that pack racing like it was for that 9 laps?
I'm not 100% sure. I mean, Caleb's pretty good. I know it's pretty hard to make a pass on the inside if I'm running the top, and he did it. So I'm gonna try my best.
All right, buddy. We'll get you back on up into Team Comms. Good luck. Keep that Hoonigan side, shiny side up. There we go. Good luck.
Thank you.
You got it.
Yes is in that sentence, Pete.
Yeah, and now for some reason it's not allowing me to bring him back up. Let's see. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, so yeah, apologize a little bit of difficulty there, but we're gonna go ahead and get back up with our leaders. It wouldn't let me drag them back up for some reason, but yeah, 37 up on the high side. Caleb Shelton, though, because he was the control car, he's able to pull away by just a little bit. On tracks like this, Will, that has got to be a very, very clear advantage. Because it's not like a super speedway, even though we just saw a little bit of pack racing. As soon as that leader steps on the loud pedal, everybody else is already in catch-up mode.
Yes, it's I believe, just like you, it's a big advantage. It's the restart zone area in iRacing for these competitors. When the leader, it basically leader discretion, he goes first, then everybody else can go. So it's very, very hard to time it with the leader, and sometimes when you do time it correctly, I've seen people still get penalized for it. So you just kind of got to wait to, just let the leader go, I guess, and then you can hopefully run him back down.
That's exactly what, and that's kind of what Matt was just saying. He's hoping that the 73 kind of wore his stuff down a little bit, trying to charge to the front. Well, I guess we'll have to see. Was he saying, you know what, you go ahead, I'll catch you later? And oh, by the way, I'll kind of wave as I'm passing on by. How about right behind here? We got 4 wide going into turn 1. The 37 is way on the bottom. They still 3 wide. 43 up top, 75 and 18. They decided to go ahead and split it out just a little bit, and that might have been pretty wise. The turn 2 wall, or coming off a turn 2 wall, can be a bit treacherous at times.
It narrows up pretty quick. It's Kansas in a way can kind of be similar to a huge Richmond, where coming off the corner, the way the racing line narrows out towards the wall can be similar to Richmond, where you just get there so quick, you just don't know it. You're going so quick, and the wall is just fast approaching.
Absolutely, got a battle for the lead. 37 able to pull up to the outside of the 73. If I'm the 37, I'm thinking about maybe pulling down just a little bit, kind of keep that 73 pinched to the bottom, especially in the corners. That way he's not able to get back on the throttle and allow that Pepsi machine to kind of walk back up to the outside wall. It kind of keeps them pinched down, and that gives us the 37 a very, very clear advantage off. And just like that, 73 was not able to get back in the throttle. So now the 4 machine for Zach Deutscher, he's also going to be able to challenge for P2.
Yes, basically, kind of be like Jaden Sanchez. Don't be scared to side draft super aggressive. Right. But that's kind of what you want to see. But some of these drivers are a bit afraid that that crazy net code might appear. So, like you say, you want to get there, pinch them, take that air off, but you don't know if you're going to net code your opponent. You're trying to race them cleanly, and Caleb doing one heck of a job trying to do something on that bottom lane with all that momentum that high lane has. It's got draft, it's got support. He doesn't really have anybody down there anymore, but doing one heck of a job trying to go for the lead, but kind of lost that battle at the moment.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, this kind of reminds me of an old, NASCAR heat race where everybody's up high, and if you're down low, you're just absolutely out of luck, because everybody with that momentum on the high side will just fly on by. As you start to see Philip Bridgman in the 48, there we go, catching up to the back end of the 73. He's going to join this high, wide, and handsome party as well, just trying to catch up with the draft of the 73, pull himself up, and then he'll be right in the mix also. Behind Philip Bridgman is going to be Jaden Sanchez in that 18. He's got a little bit of a gap back to the 75 Miller machine of Jeff Gilmore. Sean Judson also back here. So is Hunter Head. James Bryan a little bit further back with 2 right up his tailpipe. And then Brian Hunt with the 42 and the 43 recovering from that spin pretty nicely.
Brandon Moore, the first car that came out of the pits on the last caution we just had at lap 9, he was one of the drivers that pitted. He has worked his way back up to battling with Caleb Shelton for 4th position at the moment, Pete. So, first car with the more freshest of the tires than everybody else.
Yeah, the Gravedigger machine going all the way down onto the apron, getting by the 11 way low. So right now those tires are absolutely working for him, Will. But one thing he's going to have to be sure of, don't abuse the tires in the early run. I mean, we're only going to be talking about a 10-lap difference in tires, and I believe you said that they've got 6 different sets. I'm not quite sure if that's including the tires that they qualified on or not. But yeah, Brandon Moore in that Ford Mustang GT, bringing his pony up to P3. Right now, it is all blue ovals inside the top 3. .47 kind of tagged the wall just a little bit. That allowed the 73 to catch up on the high side. He's going to pull up and around the 11 Milky Way machine for Jim Coleman'sberger as well. And I thought they were going to be battling side by side a little bit. I thought maybe that the 73 caught just a little bit of the wall trying to get that arc in.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yep. But it looks like so far so good. Let's actually jump on board with Caleb and take a look at the right rear and that right front right now.
Caleb didn't lose as much time when he got into the wall compared to when Brandon Moore got into the wall out of turn 2. So,
yep, looking at the right side of that 73, looks like he's pretty good.
Maybe it was just a light kiss on that Pepsi car.
Just a little
Not
pucker.
enough to open the can.
Just a little pucker. All right, let's go ahead and send. It looks like the 37 of Matthew Hunsaker, he was able to go on up there. Looks like the 4 of Zach Deutscher, he was able to take over P number 2 as well. What do you say we jump on board with our driver back here in P4, Caleb Shelton, see what he's going to be able to do if he can catch up to those top 3. Take a couple laps around with him. If you got a sound bar, you got a nice TV with a good audio package, let's go ahead and crank it up with the 73. Let's go. All right, well, a couple laps around with driver 73, Caleb Shelton, really closing in on the top 3, using a little bit of the high line. But you see in the corners, like right now, he's kind of dipping down into that second lane, so he's able to keep a little bit of the high side momentum, but at the same time, kind of trying to close in and see what he can do. He wants nothing to do with that dirty air.
Depending on how many cars you are in the draft, you don't necessarily want to be too much in it. Like, oh, Jaden Sanchez in the wall. You don't want to be too much in that dirty air. You kind of want to make the own path for your car. And we were listening. He was just like probably a lot of the other competitors out here, just letting it set the nose. He was lifting out the throttle just for maybe a second and letting the nose plant, then getting back into the throttle to drive through and off of the corner. So as we get longer into this run, he's probably gonna maybe have to back that up, maybe a few extra bit, who knows. Great ride on board. Another moment here where Zach Deutscher is putting the heat on Matthew Hunsaker at the moment.
Yeah, just a little bit just a little behind him. And what's funny is he's actually able to get that Mustang. I'm literally in the the tire tracks of the 37 of Matthew Hunsaker. He's not going down an extra lane like the 73 was, or anybody else. I mean, he's actually staying right there. But again, Caleb Shelton, he didn't come down pit road with that caution on lap 10. So the reason he's going down that extra lane may just be because of those older tires. He's not able to get that. He's not able to get his car to turn as well as Matthew and Zach and Brandon and Jaden and a couple more. Speaking of Jaden Sanchez in that 18, he is up 9 spots already. So is Jim Coleman'sberger a little bit further back in the 11. But right now, those two have made up the most amount of positions on track. Jaden again up to P number 4, doing everything that he can to get that Toyota further and further towards the front and try to get the clean air all for himself.
Another shout out for, in my opinion, Jeff Gilmore, very consistent driver. I've seen him a lot in the SRU Truck Series and over in the Cup Series over there. He very consistent and top 5 again this evening. So wonder if he's going to try to stay there or maybe later on work his way up through the field. But very, I would say this field tonight, Pete, kind of fierce field, kind of just about the guys who did qualify, they were very close together within a few tenths. So a very tight-knit field, Pete. Man, we both can't talk tonight.
Buddy, I get you. Trust me. Been broadcasting now a little over 4 years, and those tongue ties they bite you when you really don't want them to. But working lap 37 of 135, so a little under the century mark left to go here from Kansas Motor Speedway. Again, I am Repeat with the one and only Big Will. This is the Bump and Run iRacing Cup Series, and this is the penultimate race. Next week, they're racing for a Season 3 championship live from Texas Motor Speedway. Hopefully, they break out Legacy Texas for that championship race. That would be pretty cool. Throw a little bit more banking in the mix and have some more fun. But again, guys and girls, if you haven't already, I know I put the links out there in chat earlier. Please go on over to izzyandjsoap.com. I'm going to go ahead and put their link out there one more time. For any kind of handmade natural soaps that you may need with all different fragrances, everything from beer to pine to coffee to whatever. There's tattoo ointment there. There's body lotion. There's different soaps for athletes. All kinds of things going on there. And then, of course, the Midnight Craft Desk. Go on over and visit Kay over on Etsy. If you need any kind of decorations, you need photo frames, you need something to decorate a wreath or St. Patrick's Day or Halloween or 4th of July, Father's Day, Mother's Day, whatever kind of decorations you need, go on over. Give them a visit. Tell them I sent you. I promise it won't. They won't bite. You might even get a little something extra out of it as well. So again, going over and visit Izzy and Jay in their soap shop, and then after you do that, go visit Kay at the Midnight Craft Desk. Both very, very, very great and well put together stores. I've actually got a bunch of those soaps for myself. Man, they absolutely do smell amazing. All right, so we've been riding around with Caleb Shelton. Let's kind of move this back a little bit. Jim Coleman'sberger, he's kind of all by himself. Christopher Campbell a little bit further back in his 68 Ford Mustang GT, right along with Kevin Roy, and the 12 behind him is going to be Josh Small in that 28. I'm going to guess those older tires are really starting to bite Josh. He's back 2 spots after starting P12, Will.
Yes, indeed. Older tires are starting to kind of bite a few other competitors that stayed out. We had a total of 6 of them that stayed out, if I'm not mistaken, during that lap 9 caution. So we should be expecting those competitors to be pitting here in the next lap, maybe maybe 3.
Yep, 50,
So,
55. Yep, 55. James Bryan literally just hit pit road just as you started to say that.
Battle.
Yep, looks like Jim
going on
Coleman'sberger
for
is going to come
second.
as well. The battle for P2. All right.
As I don't know what all was transpiring as we were kind of skimming through the field there before you started. I guess I could have said something a while ago, but I guess they kind of calmed down a little bit. But yeah, it looked like it was. Oh, Sanchez back in. I guess Jaden. I guess this is his version of Darlington.
Maybe.
We've seen him in the wall about. I think that's about the 5th time.
Yeah, let's take
Just
a
lightly brushes it.
Yep, let's go ahead and take a look at the right-hand side of Jaden's machine right quick. So right
in the
front, yep, right rear, a little bit of scrapage, but I don't even think he's scraped the shell off that M&M's logo that he's got going over the right rear. So I think Jaden's all right.
Yeah, just lightly brushes. Just trying to repaint it like he's Bob Ross or something.
There you go. Taking his time. All right, speaking of Jaden, it looks like he's going to try to go to the outside of the 4 of Zach Deutscher. Maybe try to take that high side momentum, keep it off the wall at the same time. But look at the speed difference. Oh, nope, the speed difference is because it looks like Matthew Hunsaker, he's going to go ahead and bring his machine down pit road, right as well as the 37 of... Matthew Hunsaker and Zach Deutscher both coming on down pit road. So they're going to go ahead and surrender a top spot, maybe come on down a lap or 2 before Jaden and grab 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods and see how this all cycles out when it's said and done. A whole lot goes on to a pit stop here, Will. You really got to be as aggressive as possible getting on a pit road, carry max speed without max speed without speeding all the way to your pit, getting your pit box, don't short it, don't extend it to where you got to either pull up or back up a little bit, and then again stabbing the throttle, come off pit road again without speeding, following the apron all the way around till you get to that blue merge cone, and then come on out. That is a full dance all in itself.
There's no pit road limiters in these cars, unlike sports cars or Indy cars or other racecraft, but all these stock cars, you gotta basically control it yourself. Control what the rev limiter says, and gotta be at that 55 or 45, whatever it may be, mile per hour. So I'm kind of curious about why Brandon Moore pitted. I thought he pitted on that lap 9 caution. I thought he would have tried to go on a different strategy than others, but maybe he's trying to counter Caleb Shelton's strategy, perhaps. Perhaps he thinks he's kind of in a race with them at the moment, which he truly is on pace. He is up there in the top 5 before this started, this pit cycle.
Yeah, absolutely is. And we mentioned a little bit ago, 6 sets of tires. Maybe they feel like they're not going to use all 6 sets. Maybe he felt like he can come on down, burn a set right now, and then just get right back up there.
Be on the same...
Right, exactly.
Be on the same
tire
cycle
strategy.
as... Yeah, and tire strategy with the people he's battling. Because 9 laps or so, like, that is a kind of a big difference to burn. You know, you could either lose a lot staying out, or you could gain a lot. But yeah, that would be. I could see why he would pit with everybody else.
Yep. So far, Jaden Sanchez, he has not come on back down pit road. The last time.
Yes, these are the.
Yep.
These are some of the other ones that pitted with Brandon Moore on that lap 9 caution. So these guys, we are guessing they kind of want to see a caution, or they are going to their fuel mileage distance, which would probably be in about 4 to 5 more laps, Pete.
Yeah, I was just riding along with the nose cam from Jeff Gilmore and then switched over to Jaden Sanchez. Right now, everybody inside the top 6, those are all cars that pit on lap 10. So if they're able to go 40 to 45 laps on a tank of fuel, working lap 52 right now, we should start to see those guys come on down within the next lap or two. So far, Jaden Sanchez, he just tagged the wall again just a little bit. Kind of heard the squeak of the metal up against the wall coming off turn 4, coming across the line. We're starting at lap 53 of 135. These laps are flying by, Will.
Yes, indeed, Pete. These laps are flying by. Kind of everybody setting the race pace pretty equally, I would have to say. Something happened to Zach Deuscher during his pit cycle. I don't think he's out of the race, just 2 laps down. Could have had a speeding penalty per se. So if we get a caution, maybe we could drag him in, question him about it, see why he has fallen off the pace. But at the moment, Jaden Sanchez wiggling it down, trying to get it to, like he said, get it down correctly into the pit road speed before that commitment line. No mistakes, so hopefully he didn't make too big of a mistake there on that slide.
Yeah, got it all woed up and slowed up all the way down to pit road speed. Now we're going to watch the 75 of Jeff Gilmore, one of the 2 Canadians in the field, aside from Philip Bridgman. And it looks like he was able to dial up the brake bias just right as well. Came on by the commitment cone. He's going to just work his way to his stall. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, when the 95 comes on by the start stripe, put old Aaron Bradford in the lead. Nope, it's actually going to be next lap. He didn't actually beat the 70. Hold on, I'm trying to get back over there. He didn't actually beat the 75 to the line, so the 95's got to stay out one more time if he wants a point for leading a lap, which, hey, could prove to be absolutely beneficial since this is the round 3 cutoff race before we go championship racing next week at Texas.
Pete, every point, very crucial. Every point counts.
A little bit of a side-by-side battle right now with the 43. 43, though, not on the same lap, so that wasn't the 43 actually taking over the lead. Right now, Caleb Shelton a little bit further back here in this Pepsi number 73. This is actually P2, and he's a good little 14 seconds behind the 95 of Bradford. So right now, Aaron would absolutely love to see a yellow fly come on back out with some of the newest tires, but it would just be interesting to see if anybody that pit 12 or 13 laps ago would come on back down again. But yeah, good, very, very good gap between Bradford and Shelton right now.
About 2.5 seconds, or maybe about 2.5 seconds back to Shelton and Hunsaker, I do believe, maybe 1.5 seconds. So that would be the gap once Bradford does eventually pit, and I believe he's making his way down now.
Yep, Bradford coming on down pit road in his number 95. Again, that's his Western Auto car. And Caleb Shelton, he's going to go ahead and be able to reassume the lead. This guy, he has found the lead several times all season long. It didn't matter whether it was a road course, short track, dirt, whatever. This Pepsi machine has found his way to the clean air, and he's going to do it yet again. Matthew Hunsaker, P number 2. He's just 1.7, 1.6 behind the 73. Then you're going to have the 47 of Brandon Moore. Also right there with Hunsaker. Actually, going back to him, this is actually a battle right now for P number 2. Sean Judson a little bit further back. He's now 11 seconds behind. So big gap between third and fourth. The 18 of Sanchez, by virtue of him staying out all those extra laps, he lost a lot of time.
That's the time you lose when you stay out compared to guys who are going to have new tires. You stay out all that time on those old tires, and the guys that come out of the pits with that fresh rubber, that's just going to eat into that deficit, and by the time you pit, you're going to lose so much ground.
Absolutely. Working lap 61 out of 135, so getting closer and closer to halfway. And it's still anybody's race. Anybody could have some kind of an issue getting on or off of pit road. So there's still a lot that can absolutely go on. Give me 1 second here. Just got to take care of a little bit of business.
10-4.
I do not buy any kind of follows or subs or anything like that, and usually I got a mod or two out there in chat that are capable of taking care of my light work like that, but that's all right. Go ahead and take care of it myself. It's been a while since I banned somebody. It kind of felt good. But yeah, nope. So I tell you what, working lap 62, getting closer and closer to that halfway marker, actually kind of getting there right now. What do you say, Will, we kind of go through the field, starting off with our leader, Caleb Shelton, in that number 73 machine, to kind of reintroduce everybody before we go championship racing next week. Pull up all their details and go on through. First, all the way back to Zach Deuscher in the 4 on that looks like he may be on pit road. So again, Caleb Shelton right now leading from Greenfield, Indiana. This number 73 Pepsi machine. Again, we mentioned time and time again how very fast this Chevrolet Camaro has been all season long. Matthew Hunsaker right now sitting at P number 2 in his onboard. Right now, Matthew is down 1 spot after starting on pole. Behind him, though, he's got Brandon Moore from Johnson City, Tennessee, in this number 47 Gravedigger machine. He started P3, right now riding in the 3rd position as well. Jaden Sanchez right behind from Scotch Plains, New Jersey, in his onboard. Jaden now up 9 spots. You'd think with that amount of movement, Will, that he'd be the biggest mover, or would have stayed the biggest mover, but that is not the case. We'll actually get back to our biggest mover in just a moment. The 19 up 2 spots right now from Fleetwood. I believe that might be Indiana. I could be wrong, but that's going to be Sean Judson in his Mustang GT up 2. Jeff Gilmore in the 75. He qualified P6. Well, that's actually right where he sits. And again, one of the 2 sole Canadians in the field this evening. Jim Coleman'sberger in his number 11 Milky Way machine from Parlin, New Jersey. Here is our biggest mover right now, up 10 spots on the evening, sitting P number 7. James Bryan in this 55, all blanked out machine, this Toyota TRD machine, up 3, sitting P8 from Ball Ground, Georgia. Scott Bittinger in this number 69, also in a Toyota. He's sitting P9 right now from Mercersburg, Pennsylvania. KDC Photography, Juddy Design, Speech, Ranch E, Setups, and RRP. Got a few sponsors going on right there. It'll definitely be a mouthful if he winds up in the podium just a little bit later on. James Bryan, we just talked about him. James Sellner, though, we'll go back to the 43 from Peoria, Illinois. Right now rocking P number 10, up 4 spots in this 43. We saw him get his lap back earlier, I believe. And, well, right now, I mentioned he's sitting in P10. Right now, the top 13 are all in lead lap. Josh Small in his number 28. He's up 1 spot, sitting P11 from Beverly, West Virginia. Kevin Roy, P number 12, in his Pennzoil machine from Placetown, New Hampshire. So trying to hold on to the lead lap. The last man on the lead lap, though, is this guy right here, the 48 Aerokinetics Camaro for Philip Bridgman from Ontario, and as always, repping Niagara Quick Dry. First car 1 lap down is going to be the 68 of Christopher Campbell and his Mustang GT, down 5 spots, sitting P14. P15 up 3 is going to be Duran Carver in his number 42 Budweiser machine from Perryton. Behind him, Hunter Head in this number 13 Corvette Parts.net. I actually remember this car from yesteryear, looking pretty good. Up 3 after starting P19. P17 down 9 spots, going to be the 95 Western Auto Ford for Aaron Bradford. Frankfort, Kentucky is his hometown. He's definitely going to need to pick up a few more spots if he wants any kind of a championship hopeful or any kind of a hopeful run at the championship next week at Texas. One guy to go ahead and join that party is also going to be the 23 McDonald's machine out of Toms River, New Jersey. And, of course, talking about Brian Hunt. He's kind of tagged the wall once or twice, got involved in that early spin, and just has not been able to get back up there. But it's still a long, long way to go. And the one and only car retired in the pits, or at least it doesn't show that he's retired, just says that he's in the pits. Talking about Zach Deutscher from Kewanee, Wisconsin, depressed, crazy, and possibly insane. We were able to ask him about that last week during a caution interview, and he said, "Pete, aren't we all just a little?" So, all right, we're going to go ahead and bring it on back up to our leader. Still the 73 of Caleb Shelton. Will, we haven't missed a thing.
No, we haven't. Caleb Shelton, when we were putting him on the spotlight there, he kind of, right before going into turn 1, he slammed the wall there, kind of got him out of the groove, and that allowed Matthew Hunsaker and Brandon Moore to reel him in just a little bit. He had to get back into his groove, and he hasn't let him back by at the moment, but having to deal with some traffic.
Yeah, 68 to his outside. And I tell you what, he is not letting him go. Christopher Campbell actually putting up a little bit of a fight. Chris, this is, for him to go a lap down. He wants to stay on the lead lap. Looks like maybe a little bit of a blinking show, but 73 is going to try to wash up. Not quite clear. Here comes that 37 challenge for P1.
It's kind of his driver's right to kind of try to make a fight to stay on that lead lap, like you say. I would, my rule of thumb or my general thought would be, maybe 2 to 3 laps at the most. And if you can't seem to have the speed to stay in front of the leaders, then maybe you should concede that that positioning at the moment. Hopefully you could make it back up when the next caution comes out. Hopefully it's not you.
Right.
We have seen some ill-handling cars this evening, so.
Yeah, really hope that it's not you. But that's 68. I tell you, I gotta give it to him for holding on and fighting as strong as he did. He was not gonna go silently into that good night, as the old poem goes. He was able to hold his own. Christopher Campbell, last time he was on pit road, was lap 54. Our leaders, last time they were on pit road, was lap 45 and 43, respectively, between Hunsaker and Shelton. So the 68, he's got some newer tires. He just needs to really put them to the use, but don't burn them up. You want to be able to keep that tire advantage over the leaders and try to stay on the lead lap. Or if you do happen to fall down 1 lap, just try to stay in touch with the leaders. That way you're the first car 1 lap down. You can go ahead and grab that lucky dog.
As the battle for the lead intensifying, Matthew Hunsaker challenging Caleb Shelton there, as Brandon Moore is falling victim to that menacing wall.
Yeah, Brandon Moore, good, 2-3 car lengths behind our battle for the lead. We'll go ahead and take a look at his right front. And yeah, you see a little bit of scrapage there behind the wheel well. You see the Monster Jam logo there as well. But the right rear, a little bit more damage. Looks like Gravedigger's not quite ready to lose the body, but a little bit of scrapage. I've definitely seen worse, though.
Especially for a Gravedigger designed craft, indeed, Pete, I'd have to agree.
Hey, there you go. All right, so looks like 73 starting to gap 37 just a bit. Probably good, tenth and a half. Then it's just under a second back to the 47 of Moore. But that looks like that gap is kind of staying somewhat consistent. Moore gets into the corners a little bit better, but then Shelton in that clean air is really able to step on that throttle and pull away just a little bit, still trying to put that 68 one lap down.
Just can't seem to get around that 68, like you said. About 10 lap fresher tires comparison, but still off the pace just a wee bit. And man, they really get all they can get going into the corners here, Pete.
Yeah, they do absolutely throw it in. Speaking of throwing it in, 73, he is finally cleared. A little bit of a slide job here. You saw him throw it down low, getting into the corner. I'm kind of surprised that he was able to make that work. That kind of an arc getting in to where you've actually got to kind of stay out of the throttle or maybe even tap the brakes to set the front end. 68's going to fight back on the bottom side. Going to try to hold it, but he's not going to be able to. 73 tagged that outside wall. 68 saw it. He immediately went low. It's going to be a battle one more time.
That window should be opening soon for some of these competitors here, Pete.
Yeah, very, very soon. It looks like, we mentioned that that Caleb Shelton came down on lap 43. It looks like James Bryan came down on lap 41. He is the guy that's out here on the oldest tires. So, again, 40 to 45 laps. Yeah, that means he is absolutely out there right now on 40-lap old tires. So I would imagine that that James Bryan is going to come on down pit road very, very soon in this 55. All right, Jaden Sanchez right now, he is just under 4 seconds behind the battle for the lead. Young Buck's really been making some hay. He's caught back up. If you think about the time that he lost by staying out lap after lap after the leaders had pitted. In fact, he came in on lap 53. The leaders came in on 43. So in those 10 laps, as the leaders' tires have really started to fall off, his have been able to stay just a little bit better, and he continues to try to reel him in, now just 3.8 behind Shelton.
I think this time, this stint, I wouldn't, if it was me, I wouldn't want to stay out as long as I did previously. If I want a chance for maybe a win, like try to have a shot for a win. I know he said earlier top 5 he's looking for today. But it seems like he's catching a little bit at a time. Maybe if he could pit just a lap or 2 or 3 after the leaders, maybe just have that better, fresher tire, maybe he could reel him in faster. Who knows? If he stays out longer like he has been, it may take him even longer to get that track position back, Pete.
Yeah, it really could. So I would imagine that actually it looks like the 28 of Josh Small. He's going to go ahead and whoa it up, slow it up, get all the way down to pit road. Got a little squirrely getting on the brakes at first, but he is going to be the first to come on down pit road to open up the second round of green flag pit stops. Working lap 85 of 135. Everybody will have to pit one more time, and I tell you that pit stop is going to be really interesting, Will. Going to be curious to see who just decides to maybe take a can of fuel and maybe right side tires or something like that. Jim Coleman'sberger, James Bryan also coming on down pit road. So Caleb Shelton, Matthew Hunsaker, and more coming on down. And here's your answer so far. The 18 deciding to stay out.
Try to save if he talking about Josh Small in the 28. He would have to try to save around 6 laps. So he would have to try to make it 50 laps, Pete. So I don't know. Some of these guys, depending on when they pit, they are definitely maybe the strategy at the moment with the 18 of Jaden Sanchez, he's going longer. So perhaps he won't have to make an extra pit stop.
That's kind of what I was just thinking also. As soon as you said perhaps, I'm looking at the 18. I remember that he stayed out that extra 10 laps. Well, that extra 10 laps could absolutely put him in that window. If he came down last on lap 53, you add 40 to that, that's about 93. And then you take 93 and add 35, you're looking at about 43 laps. So all he's got to do is save just a little bit, just in case there happens to be a green-white checker or something like that, and the man could possibly have a win in the bag. Jeff Gilmore right now sitting P2. Sean Judson, third. Scott Bittinger, fourth. And then James Sellner in that 43 right now sitting P5. The leader that we had just a little bit ago, the 73 of Caleb Shelton, right now he is sitting all the way back in P10. So what do you think? You think the 18 could play spoiler here, Will?
Play spoiler, win the race. I don't think he's in the hunt to get the championship, but he sure could take a win away for possibly someone like Matthew Hunsaker. So
yeah,
that could be that's just as big, to be honest. I mean, hey, he may not be in championship contention, but a win's a win, Pete.
Absolutely.
If he can pull this off.
Yeah.
So we're looking to see him pit in maybe lap 90, between 94 to maybe 96, maybe 98. So he's still going to be out here for a few more laps. Him and maybe Gilmore pits, I think, a lap or two before Jaden. But that's whenever I think Jaden is going to pit. So Jaden should be good to go. I believe everybody else but Jaden and Gilmore and Judson, everybody else is going to have to make another pit stop. Maybe James Sellner could be possibly doing the same thing as well.
Yeah, but he's quite a bit back. He's 17 seconds behind the lead.
Yes.
So Sanchez would have to run out of gas and coast across where Sellner would have a little bit more go. But yeah, we're looking at lap 92 right now. So he's only got to stay out 2.5, maybe 3 laps. So right around that window that you were just describing, and Sanchez could possibly get up there. Sean Judson right now coming on down pit road right along with Scott Bittinger and Philip Bridgman in this number 48 Chevrolet as well. Tell you what, Will, I'm actually a big fan of these aerokinetic schemes that they came up with for these bump and run iRacing Cup Series races on Saturday nights. I've seen it elsewhere as well, where Zach Deutscher races. So some pretty nice looking schemes. Working lap 94. It looks like Jaden Sanchez not yet committed to come on down pit road. He might just go one more lap to make it an even 40 laps, which he knows that he can make even if we have a green-white checker. Here he comes. So he's going to come in on lap 94, come out on lap 95. Just got to whoa it up, slow it up, don't spin out, and just be as aggressive as he can coming to the pits. Don't speed, carry max speed, hit your pit board perfectly. That way your pit crew doesn't have to spend any extra time traveling or walking or running around your car. Grab a gear, grab max speed coming out of the pits, and accelerate all the way to the blend line, which is that blue cone, and do everything that you can. So there is Jaden Sanchez. So far, he's fallen back to P number 3. Jeff Gilmore has now taken over the lead in this Miller machine.
Yes, Gilmore stays out, so maybe he might pit this lap. It could actually come down between a battle between Gilmore and Sanchez, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely can. Grabbing a little bit of a drink of go-go juice for myself. Yeah, 75.
Stays green for these 40 laps. You know, it could be one heck of a barn burner between these two guys. But like you said, the young buck and the other fellow Canadian. But at the moment, everybody kind of on a different pit strategy. Some doing way different than others. This is turning into a, like we said at the top of the show, very interesting, intriguing race to call. Kevin Roy in with fellow opponent Gilmore there.
Yep, and that is going to cycle it all back to Mr. Consistency, talking about the 73 of Caleb Shelton. Dark Racer says, hey man, I ran Kansas on Thursday for my 3rd league. Well, good to see you out there, bud. Thanks for stopping in. This is the Bump and Run iRacing Cup Series. I've got the one and only Mr. Will in the booth with me. As you can see, working lap 97 of 135, so just 38 more laps to go. And this is the penultimate race. Again, they've got one more race next week at Texas Motor Speedway to go ahead and crown a champion in the Lone Star State. And I believe you said it earlier. It's not the a little bit of a battle here for P number 1. Hunsaker going to try to go ahead and pull the crossover, throw it down low. Can he wash up with this? Not quite. He had it. That would have made the 73 check up big time, but not able to pull the crossover.
Great battle here for the lead. It's kind of come down to these two at the moment. Almost see who's going to run each other out of gas first, it kind of seems like. Because we expect these two to still have to make a splash of gas pit stop if it stays green here for the remaining 35 some odd laps of this race left to go.
Yep, 35.
So,
yeah, 35 laps left in tonight's contest from Kansas Motor Speedway. Again, I am repeat for everybody else that's out there. If you just joined right alongside the one and only Mr. Will, and this is the Bump and Run iRacing Cup Series. Kansas Motor Speedway so far has been a lot of fun. Definitely seen a couple slide jobs. Definitely seen some great, almost pack-like battles in the very beginning of the race. But now, as you can see by the track map on the bottom right-hand side, with the Midnight Craft Desk logo all throughout, and of course the Izzy and Jay Soap Company logo right above. There you see the websites on screen as well. But this has been one hell of a battle, Will, and they're not done yet. 34 remaining.
Becker not going away, leaving Caleb Shelton on his toes here. Just can't shake Matthew, and they are trying to somewhat get around Brian Hunt here. He is just off the pace this evening, unfortunately. Kind of ever since he was innocent bystander there. Him and Aaron Bradford got together early on there to cause our one and only caution this evening. So,
yeah, talking about the one and only caution, Brian, are you surprised by that? That there isn't, there haven't been more? At least one or two to kind of rack and stack the entire field back up, or are you not surprised with because of the different lines that Kansas Motor Speedway offers the competition?
Well, at the very beginning, the start of the race, we kind of saw that pack racing going on. I was like, man, we might see some few cautions. I was expecting at least maybe 3, but great. That just goes to show you how great, and for the most part, under control. These drivers have these cars out here tonight at Kansas, Pete, and just how well they're able to just do green flag running and not have mess ups coming on or off pit road. It's very easy. You could kind of spin your tires and spin out on that apron as you're getting up to speed. You can really mess up. We almost saw Jaden Sanchez do it. You can almost spin yourself out coming onto pit road here. So many different ways. We were hearing of loose and tight race cars coming off the corners. Bradford earlier, he was battling very loose conditions, so I was very surprised, Pete. I know that took a long time to explain, but
no, you're fine. You're fine, absolutely. And I'm kind of surprised myself. Looks like one car coming off a pit road right now. Jungle Cow Wizard, Mr. Harmon, thank you very much for the raid of 7, buddy. Definitely appreciate you. Hopefully you had a good stream. How'd your race go? Again, Tom Harmon, normally part of the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series, another league actually fully sponsored by iRock TV. As it looks like Hunter Head coming on down pit road for his last stop. Aaron Bradford also back here a little bit further back. And see, Drift King 30. What's going on, man? How are you? But yeah, Tom Harmon normally rocking an Avril Lavigne paint scheme each and every week, and definitely one of the more consistent drivers on Monday night. Always a lot of fun to talk to, and definitely appreciate you. All right, so let's. How'd your race go, Tom? You win it or what you got? Currently points lead 2. Nice. Yep, absolutely. All right, we have got a world of separation now here, Will. I mean, looking through car to car with the chopper, just kind of dropping back a little bit. Been looking for a little bit of a side-by-side battle so far. This is all single file, and this is exactly what Jaden Sanchez in P number 3 wants to see right now, because there's nobody side by side. Nobody's going to mess up. Nobody's going to cause a caution and take this strategy away from him. Who would have thought that 10 measly laps could ultimately decide on who wins a race if we don't actually see a caution in the next 20 laps, or give or take 25 laps. There we go.
Well, Gilmore is about, I want to say, 4 seconds back from Sanchez. Does Gilmore have the speed to run down Sanchez if he can? If he has that in him, if maybe Jaden makes another mistake as far as maybe instead of a light brush, he kind of tears down the wall. Maybe that might be the mistake that Gilmore's looking to reel in that 18 car. Like you said, kind of everybody's kind of spread out here. Kind of got maybe a battle here and there, but Selner and Bittinger and Brian going somewhat at it back here.
Absolutely. You see the 69 of Scott Bittinger down low, 43 of James Selner up high, and this is going to bring the 12 of Kevin Roy right into the mix. He's going to go ahead and throw it high, which means he's going to be able to get back into throttle before anybody else and maybe try to pull up high, but or pull himself on up, I should say. But that Toyota is going to go ahead and cut that line off, kill the run that the 12 had, and go right back into single file racing. Just saw the 42 of Duran Carver kind of tag that outside wall just a little bit. So we got a nice little battle, nice little pack of 5 back here.
I want to say that Kevin Roy in that 12 machine has the freshest tires of everybody in this battle group. But he's just trying to be patient. He doesn't want to get involved in a wall banging, door slamming incident. So he's just trying to let his race come to him.
Absolutely.
Oh, and I say that, and he takes it 3 wide.
Yeah,
Wow.
took it 3 wide for just a moment, and then they just went ahead and settled it amongst themselves. Now they're all back single file one more time as we look ahead from the nose of the 95 at that full pack that was just side by side for 2 rows and 1 car leading, all right back up on the high side for the most part. Again, a little bit of separation. Looks like a little bit of screen lag. Definitely apologize for that. That's a first for this evening, and we're about 9:30, give or take. Hopefully, this comes on back in a quick hurry. But in the meantime, Caleb Shelton is still leading. Matthew Hunsaker P2, Jaden Sanchez P3, Jeff Gilmore P number 4, and Brandon Moore right now sitting in P number 5 as we get back up with our leader. And I tell you, it's interesting. He's got a very, very healthy lead over Matthew Hunsaker by 3+ seconds. As cars come on by the start stripe, the scoring pylon will repopulate with where everybody's at. Again, definitely apologize for the drop frames this evening. Looks like maybe a little bit of an issue. I actually woke up this morning, Will, to no power. That was kind of interesting. Wake up and you open your eyes and it's pitch black. You think you're going blind.
Well, you think you're going blind, or you're like, oh man, where'd those lights go?
There you go. 18. He's kind
Is
of
it nighttime or?
right. Yeah, 5 o'clock this morning. It was absolutely pitch black. Plus, my house is like buried under like 12 or 13 very, very tall trees. So no light whatsoever is able to shine in.
I'd be so paranoid.
I've thought about cutting a few of those down.
Trees, man.
Mm-hmm.
They scare me. Like oh man.
Yep, I get it. All right, so again, one more time.
So when?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to throw that question out there. When does these leaders bring her down pit road for what we would suspect to be the final time?
Well, Caleb Shelton, he last came on down pit road on lap 85. So 85 through, he's going to have to come on down with about 10 laps to go, which is, funny enough, those 10 laps that Jaden Sanchez was able to work into his strategy. Able to stay out and work into his strategy before. So he fell back. Now he's only 7.3 behind Caleb Shelton. He knows that Shelton and Hunsaker both have to pit. So even if the 73 comes on down pit road, doesn't take tires, just only takes fuel, he's not going to be able to hold the lead because Sanchez is only 7 seconds back. He's going to lose that just going halfway down pit road just because of the pit road speed. So the 73 and the 37, they've got to hope for a caution to come on out, where Jaden Sanchez, he wants this to go completely green, right along with Gilmore and Brandon Moore, which round out the top 5.
Well, Gilmore has taken 2 seconds out of that what would be the would-be lead between Sanchez and Gilmore. He has worked 2 seconds, if not just over 2 seconds out of that gap. Hunsaker pitting, so there you go. So Shelton will probably pit in the next few laps, if not 2. So
yep, Jaden Sanchez now up to P number 2. Caleb Shelton out here in the 75 from Greenfield, Indiana. Again, he is hoping, he is praying that Matthew Hunsaker or any of these other guys that are about to pit have some kind of a problem, maybe don't dial up the right amount of brake bias, loop it around, caution comes out, and that is all she wrote. But that's not always the case, especially when you're going down pit road. If you're out of the race line, iRacing does not always throw that yellow. So Barney, he's been very, very cool, calm, and collected tonight. Hasn't really had to do a whole lot of work. Maybe just the one yellow. Yeah, he's, had to pull out the halfway flag and a couple others like that. But for the most part, that yellow flag, it's been packed away.
His arm is not hurting tonight.
Well, 13 left to go. 13 remaining. Caleb Shelton cannot make it. We'll have to see when he comes down, though. Sanchez now 6.5 behind. So he's actually closed in a half a second on Caleb Shelton. So that's even more time that Caleb is going to lose on pit road. But we'll have to see what kind of a battle it winds up being between Jaden Sanchez, Jeff Gilmore, which is back here in this Miller High Life number 75, and then Brandon Moore. Brandon Moore is a little bit further back. I believe if there's going to be a battle for the lead once the 73 comes on down pit road, it's going to be between Jaden Sanchez and Gilmore. But you're talking about a good 2+ seconds between second and third right now.
Brandon Moore could possibly be in very strong conservative save mode at the moment. He was on the same pitch strategy as Shelton and Huntsaker, so I would not be surprised, Pete, to see if Brandon could try to get everything he could get to not have to make this other pit stop that we would suspect him to make. But
tell you what, let's actually jump on board with this Gravedigger machine. Jump into the cockpit going into turn number 1 here. Let's see if he's saving fuel. Absolutely. You hear the motor completely killed. All you hear is a little bit of scrubbing of the right front tire. So, yeah, Brandon Moore in his 47 Mustang GT trying to save as much as he could there. Now here we go, going into 3. You hear the RPMs just drop all the way down. So, yeah, 47 in huge conservation mode right now, Will.
Jeff Gilmore down to a 1.5 seconds to Jaden Sanchez. So this is the fight for this win.
Riding on board right now in the cockpit with Sanchez, and he's not in fuel conservation mode whatsoever. He's under full power. Just allowed the 11 to go on by of Colemansberger and get his lap back. Going into turns 1 and 2, 8 laps remaining here from Kansas Motor Speedway and the Bump and Run iRacing Cup Series. It's gonna be interesting when all the points are tallied up, Will. Who is going to go ahead and make it into the final race next week at Texas Motor Speedway and go for that Season 3 championship? Looking on board from the nose camera from Jeff Gilmore in this number 75 Camaro. He can see the pack ahead. 42's up high. 42's not willing to give that line. He's kind of holding him up a little bit. Gives him a little bit of a shot to the back bumper. Said, hey, man, get out of my way. I got to go.
Flat traffic can either help you or it can really ruin you. And it is showing for Jeff Gilmore at this moment.
Wow, that was a hard-fought position for that 75 Miller High Life machine. I mean, Jeff Gilmore, he's up 4 spots after starting 6th, but he's got a lot of time. He's got 2.2 seconds to make up on Sanchez with 5 to go. Next time by, I don't think he can get there. Looks like the last time Gilmore was on pit road was lap 96. Sanchez was on pit road lap 94. 2 lap fresher tires is not going to mean 2 seconds. In fact, as they came across the line that time to take 5 to go, he actually lost a tenth. I mentioned that he was 2.2. Now he's 2.3, almost 2.4. So Sanchez He has nobody to battle right now, looking ahead from the nose cam, and it's just pretty much smooth sailing, Will.
Yes, navigating around the lap traffic of the 42 of Jerron Carver really kind of ruined the run that Jeff Gilmore had. At the moment, with that 75, he's trying to get back into the momentum. He could have hurt the nose of that 75. We're not fully sure, but yeah, like you said, the 2 laps that was helping him in a way catch up to Jaden, but after the struggle he was having with the 42, it kind of now it looks like it's stabled out. And if Jaden does, which I don't think he does, but if he does need to save, he can kind of go back into that for just a moment. I think he was earlier when we were riding on board. I think he was just for a moment saving a little bit, or that could have just been the line he was running.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the 75 might be just a little tight in turns 1 and 2, but it looks like he's able to just about flat fly all the way through turns 3 and 4. But still 2.3 seconds between Sanchez and Gilmore. Judson a good 10 seconds back behind Sanchez, and it looks like he might actually have a little bit of a battle. Nope, I take that back. It's actually going to be 4 seconds between Judson and Moore. So if this number 19 W machine can keep that thing clean for the remaining 2 laps, he could work his way on up into a top 3 podium position right behind Gilmore, but everybody chasing driver 18 in this Toyota, Jaden Sanchez. He didn't have, he didn't qualify. I believe he said that he missed it, if I'm not mistaken. He said, yeah, miscommunication ruined my qualifying. Oh, well, good luck, guys. Have fun. So he's had a lot of fun making up 12 spots on the overall night, Will. And this is the white flag lap coming to the line. It will be Jaden Sanchez getting it done at Kansas. Jeff Gilmore, he's going to come across P number 2 in that Miller High Life machine. And in fact, it will be the W19 for Sean Judson, P3. Kevin Roy, P4. Brandon Moore, P5. Caleb Shelton, Matthew Hunsaker, Scott Bottinger, James Sellner, and Philip Bridgman will be your top 10. All right, let's go ahead and clear the boards. It's all about driver 18 this evening. He's been bad fast at the road courses. Well, tonight on this oval, he's won the option to go ahead and burn him down. Jaden, if you're listening, pour on the smoke, sir. Let's go. All right, well, looks like the 18 might be about ready to do an old-famed Alan Kulwicki Polish victory lap, go on around the track in the opposite direction. In real life, this is where the NASCAR drivers, they've got the window net down, and they are saying thank you and saluting their fans back and appreciating them coming on out to see their favorite driver race. So, yeah, Alan Kulwicki, sadly lost several years back. Coined that phrase, and it's been a part of NASCAR for a very long time since.
I 1993.
Yep, right around there, yeah.
But yes, 89, I believe he won at Phoenix. I believe it was 89. And to celebrate, he did just like this and Polish victory lap, like you said. Big congratulations to Jaden Sanchez in that 18 D-Bot machine getting the victory here tonight. Awesome strategy he was able to pull off. So
Absolutely. You got to go ahead and call it a night right then and there. Oh, no, just a little bit of blinking out there. No big deal. But for a minute there, I thought it was me. But no, it's not. All right. So, guys and gals, we will be right back with our top 3 live from the booth. Again, it's going to be Sean Judson up 4 spots in his number 19 Ford Mustang GT. The 75 Camaro for Jeff Gilmore, P2 up 4 spots also. But the man of the evening is going to be a young 18-year-old Jaden Sanchez in his number 18 Toyota TRD machine. Will, I think this is the first time all season we've had all 3 manufacturers inside the top 3. That's pretty cool. All right, guys and gals, we will be right back. Don't nobody go nowhere. All right, guys and gals, we are back, and unfortunately we're not going to be able to get Jeff Gilmore up in the booth. I guess he had to take off, but we're going to start off with P number 3 again, the number 19 Ford Mustang GT, up 4 spots after starting 7th. Talking to Sean Judson. Will, I believe you got driver 19.
Did you bring him in?
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Sean. This was a day to night type of transition race. I was kind of curious about kind of how the car kind of handled overall with that, and also how difficult did you find it out there to be passing here this evening?
The transition really wasn't an issue for me. Passing, it was a little touch and go, especially if you're on the bottom trying to get up off the corner with the car on the outside, but The transition really didn't bother me too much. The tires stayed pretty well under the car. I just had no short run speed to keep up with anybody.
Right. Short run speed kind of was there for a few people this evening. Just wasn't there for a lot, like you touched on. Um, I was kind of curious here about was were you expecting more cautions? We only had one caution tonight, Sean. I was expecting at least three. Me and Pete were talking earlier. I was expecting three. Were you expecting maybe none?
Kansas kind of runs pretty caution free. It gets a little loose on the start of the run, but once everything settles out, the car's pretty stable. Everybody's spread out, so really no big groups of people after that first run. So after that first caution, I was really not expecting anything.
So the plan was to just hopefully not have to make that final pit stop at the end, not run it too hard, and just hopefully be there at the end like you were. If you're here next week for Texas, Texas is next week. What would basically the expectations, maybe hopes going into Texas be there, Sean?
It's pretty much hopefully another top 5. I mean, it's been pretty consistent the races I made this season. Texas is an okay track for me with the different corners, so it takes a little bit for getting the tires where you want them. But overall, it should be a pretty good race.
Well, Sean, is there anything else that maybe you would like to add about tonight's race, or maybe give some shout-outs there, Sean?
No, the race was good tonight, but shout out to the new team, Fat Boys Motorsports. Me and Scott and our buddy Cole are starting it. W Energy, KDC Photography, Beard Tube Beard Oil, Biddy Custom Creations, and Robinson Racing Promotions. Cole, Scott, Alex, AJ, guys that help us do what we do.
Great job, Sean. I'm just going to add my congratulations to this top 3 as well. Phenomenal race. Yeah, we will see you next week at the Lone Star State when we go Texas racing, where everything's bigger in Texas. And yeah, even the Season 3 championship. Congratulations, sir.
Yep. Have a good night, guys.
You as well. All right, we're going to bring on up driver 18, the young buck himself in his number 18 Toyota TRD machine. You got a whole lot of 1/8s going for you, up 12 spots on the evening. You kind of put it out there in chat very, very early, Jaden, that you kind of fouled up your qualifying effort, had to start further in the back, and here you are able to put that DeWalt machine in victory lane. Talk us through your pit strategy, where you realized you had done the math correctly, and what this win means for you, sir.
Well, first of all, great race. You guys did really well in the booth today, so congrats. Yeah. I'm not really sure. After the first caution, I believe I pitted just to follow Brandon more, but he didn't take any tires, and I did. So throughout that whole run, what I like to do also is the little auto fuel box. I like to put the margin all the way up to 10. And a lot of people I don't think know that if you put that all the way to 10, it actually gives you 3.6 extra laps of fuel. So using that, I was able to stretch the fuel out and, basically make it to the finish. And everybody else, I guess, didn't do that. So they all had to pit again.
Yeah, definitely, masterful pitting, and hey, everybody says in real life NASCAR, everybody tests the rule book. I do remember, years back they were saying adding a few more extra, feet of fuel in the lines gives you that extra, and then when they announced that there was actually a reserve in real life Cup cars to be able to go like an extra lap and a half. To make it back to pit road, well, you were able to stretch that out, and who knows, maybe somebody next week going for a championship will take that little extra nugget that you just kind of put out there, if they didn't know it already, and grab themselves a win and or possibly a championship. They'll have to come to you personally and thank you. But one lonely caution on the evening, coming coming into the race with 19 drivers, you feel one caution about right, or were you expecting more?
Well, we were all slipping and sliding. I know I was, but the weird thing was the guys in front of me were all, because I think I said on the comms, why is everyone sliding so much? And I was not sliding. I was just really tight, and I barely had any practice trying to just, not, get tight and whatever. And I think there should have been maybe a couple more cautions, but I was glad there was only one because one was the only one I needed. So, yeah.
Will, you got anything for the young buck?
I just want to say congratulations there, Jaden. So
Thank-
awesome to see you pull off a win here tonight, and hopefully many more to come, man. I know you're a very strong competitor, so congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Jaden, we'll see you next week in Texas where, hey, maybe you'll be firing off the 6-shooters when it's all said and done and go back-to-back, maybe build a little bit of momentum as Season 4, from what I was told today, is literally right around the corner. All right, so I just got word from Brian Hunt saying Caleb Shelton, James Sellner, it looks like Phil Bridgman and Matthew Hunsaker will be our top 4 racing for a championship next week. So it's going to be interesting to see which of those 4 you'll raise the trophy when it's all said and done. Will, any surprise in those names, or do they all make perfect sense?
Well, no surprise at all, Pete. All 4 of them championship material, in my opinion, in my eyes, and very fierce competitors. So next week, one of those 4 will be crowned champion of the BNR Cup Series. Can't wait to see who it will be.
Absolutely. So again, big thank you to everybody that came out tonight, whether it was on Facebook. I'm sorry, not on Facebook. Facebook was not working tonight. On YouTube, Twitch, or on iRock TV through your favorite Roku device. If you've got a Roku TV, go on over to the streamers section of the Roku service and look for iRock TV. It's the logo that you see on the bottom left-hand side. Type it in. It is a 100% free service on Roku. Or if you've got a Roku streaming brick, same thing. Go on over to the streamer section, look for iRock TV, or type it in and search it out. Grab the channel. 100% free, and whether it's a POV stream, a club, community, league, podcast like the Hot Dog Stand podcast, or any others, all races, live or re-air, are broadcast in beautiful 4K quality. It's absolutely amazing. It actually made me go out and buy a Roku brick just so I was able to go back and watch some of the races myself. It just looks so much better, very clean, very crisp. It looks absolutely great. And of course, to the Midnight Craft Desk, where imagination comes to create. It's an Etsy store run by a woman by the name of Kay. I'm actually going to go ahead and bring up her site for you as soon as my mouse decides it wants to stop jumping around. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the site for you, show you everything that she's got going on. Everything from old, nostalgia cards to butterflies to hummingbirds. There's, pages and pages of nothing but craft designs, as you can see as I continue to scroll through. It's absolutely great. You see Titanic stuff, you see Gone with the Wind stuff, you see Selena, Gone way too soon. You see Forrest Gump on the wings of a butterfly. Again, pages and pages of all kinds of things. Everything is embellished. There's certain ones here that are full of glitter. It's just absolutely amazing. There's photo albums in here. There you see an owl. Just tons and tons of stuff. And then, of course, if we bring it on back to my page, which is where you can find both of these, if I bring it all the way back, and go back to my page, you also see Izzy and Jay Soap Company. I put the links for both of these stores out there in chat earlier. But yeah, oatmeal and aloe, soothing lemongrass, beer and hemp, fir needle scented soap, beer soap, body butter, tattoo butter, lavender. I mean, all kinds of soaps and creams for whatever you may need. So if you got yourself a brand new tattoo, go on over, look him up. This is one person that you definitely want to tell him that I sent you. He will he'll get you a little something. That I can promise you. In fact, I think right here it says handmade skincare products using natural ingredients, free shipping on orders over $50, $5 shipping on orders under $50. Try one of our amazing handmade products. Your skin will thank you. We're always experimenting with different ingredients, so come up with the best products we can make, but takes time. So please keep checking on us. And of course, you can see the description for the Midnight Craft Desk right next to it. I'll go ahead and I'll put the link for both of those back out in chat one more time. Please go on over, give them a look around, and make sure if you do purchase something, tell them I sent you. I don't get anything out of this. It's nothing like that. But both are absolutely worthwhile follows and worthwhile people that just have a little extra going on the side. There are both links in the chat one more time. So again, one more time for both Will and I, thank you very much for coming out, hanging out, chatting up, keeping us company. We definitely appreciate you. We will see you next week at Texas Motor Speedway, where we're chasing a championship. Let's go get them. Have a great night, guys.